Inside the Classroom is brought to you by NYSUT, a union of more than 600,000 professionals dedicated to education, human services, and healthcare. NYSUT is proud to partner with parents in advocating for what students need. We stand for excellence in public education from preschool through post-grad. Find us online at nysut.org.
Hi, I'm Ashli Dreher. Welcome to another edition of Inside the Classroom. Well, today we have a special treat for our viewers. We're going to take you inside the classroom of several New York State Teachers of the Year. We'll begin our journey in Jeff Peniston's classroom, the 2011 New York State Teacher of the Year from Liverpool High School in the Syracuse area.
Well, I think education was important to my parents because their education was limited. So my siblings and I were the first generation in our family to go off to college. New York State standards for science, for example, there's several of them. So in earth science, they've got to know vocabulary, and they've got to know processes, and they've got to solve problems and take the exam. We often miss the fact that there's those other science standards, that students be able to use the library, that they be able to read and write, have literacy skills. All those are good things, and all those things are in the standards. However, they're not in the exam. I think getting kids out of the classroom allows you an opportunity to teach and to practice all those things that we know young people should become good at. The Expedition Earth Science program really began about 11 years ago when a good friend of mine and a co-teacher, Drew Caldwell, and I realized that we were teaching earth science, but we were almost never getting our kids out into the earth itself. The premise of the Expedition Earth Science is that we offer our students a menu of perhaps 6 to 10 different expeditions throughout the year, most of which occur on weekends, most of which involve parents acting as transportation and supervision in some manner, and most of which don't cost the kid or the family anything.
The Expedition Earth Science trips where we go camping, you get to see sides of kids that you normally don't see. And a lot of times I would say it's the true side of the kid. They open up a little bit more.
Jeff is really one of the most innovative and creative and energetic teachers that I know and that I've ever come across. And his enthusiasm is just infectious. I
became a teacher like a lot of people became teachers because we really like to watch the look on a kid's face when they're having an experience for the first time. They're having a growth moment. There's that, I get it moment. And the reality is that we can see that in the classroom. But if you can spend a Saturday with those kids, particularly with their parents in tow, and they're having a growth experience, it's a blast. I've got an administration who has allowed me and encouraged me to play outside the box. Polar Trek is a program that is created by the Arctic Research Consortium of the U.S. I wanted to be out in the field when my students were in the classroom, because the whole point, in my opinion, of Polar Trek was to be able to learn good science, but most importantly, to every day use a blog and photographs and small videos to communicate directly back to kids in the classroom, and then let those kids communicate back to the scientists by asking questions. My advice to brand new teachers is make time to have fun with your students. Make time to show your students that you care about them. You gotta let go a little bit, have some fun with your students, show them you care, build them up. Most importantly, get them to do difficult things. And when they do those difficult things, they're gonna feel more empowered themselves.
The next Teacher of the Year you'll see is Katie Ferguson, the 2012 New York State Teacher of the Year from the Jesse T. Zoller Elementary School in the Schenectady School District. Katie is a second grade teacher, and she's still teaching at Zoller Elementary.
It's my mission, I feel, as a teacher, to teach the children to believe in themselves. My motto and our classroom motto is we work the whole time, that their job is to be a second grader and my job is to be the teacher. Even if they finish their work, I tell the children they're to get out a book and read so that they can be working the whole time.
When you meet Katie, you realize she's very special and she really cares very much about her students. When she talks about her kids, she has kind of a softness and you can see the nurturing, but she's also very demanding and expects a lot from her students.
That's the space where you show your work. Your work is always a picture and a number model, a picture and a number model, a picture and a number model. What is your work, everyone? A picture and a number model. And nobody in here is too smart for pictures and number models. I do it too. I'm always keeping the Common Core standards in mind, but when I look at each child, I have that special education background, which helps me to really focus in on the goals and objectives for each child so that each one of them can achieve their fullest potential.
Katie Ferguson strives for excellence in her personal life and in school. And it's great to see that the kids also strive for excellence. They see that in Mrs. Ferguson.
I really enjoy working in the classroom with Katie because she makes me feel like a real part of the team.
I think it's really fantastic the way that we're able to always break up into small groups, and it's so great that the learning is always so individualized in each and every subject that we teach.
It's just a wonderful thing to be in that classroom and watch her really striving so hard to get these kids to learn more than they ever thought they could.
My literacy style has really developed over the years through the number of professional development workshops that I've received through the Schenectady City School District, in addition to the coaching that I received when I joined Zoller School. Don't forget, as writers, we work the whole time. I like to set the bar very, very high. We always want our children to be performing at the highest level. It's really important for me to teach them to have that positive attitude about school and maybe hopefully even life, so that I'm setting the foundation for future successes. This is what we're going to use as our butterfly announcement, but ours is going to say, it's a butterfly. There's a few butterflies have already emerged. Please look up at the chrysalises and see if you can figure out which ones they came out of. I can see. Good, I'll give you a chance in a second. I can see a wing. I make it my mission for all the children to understand that school is fun, learning is fun, mistakes are not bad, they are good, and that everybody has the potential to achieve a bright future.
Who educates and assists our state students, provides medical care and support, and strengthens our communities? We do. NYSUT members are classroom teachers, college faculty and staff, nurses, and healthcare professionals. We're cafeteria workers, bus drivers, teacher aides, and teaching assistants. We're more than 600,000 caring, supportive professionals living and working in communities across New York State. We are NYSUT. We make a difference.
Up next is the 2013 New York State Teacher of the Year. He's Greg Alquist from the Webster Thomas High School in the Webster Central School District, which is located in the Rochester, New York area.
Good morning, Mr. Bryan. How are we today? Good. I think students need to and want to be challenged at the highest levels.
Guess what we're going to do? I am going to do a drawing. All right. We're going to try to capture liberalism here. All right, so here we go. This is going to be 3B.
Greg is able to engage his students in learning so successfully because he has a variety of methods that the kids get very excited about.
What kind of building did you say this was? Yeah, and so one of the major thinkers is John Stuart Mill.
I will use any vehicle that I can to connect with a student. The drawings are a clever way to try to get these images seared onto their brains.
His drawings show how much he actually thinks about the course and how much he tries to ensure that it's communicable and understandable and relatable to each student. And it's hilarious and it's a great way to learn.
Greg is an outstanding educator. He's a wonderful human being. He exemplifies everything that we feel makes Webster a wonderful teaching district.
Which marks would we be looking at?
Communist one?
Yes! Karl Marx!
The best classrooms, history classrooms in particular, is the one where students are raising the questions.
The Lady Liberty with the flag.
Yes!
It's very similar layout to that one.
Excellent. Let's make this a transition point here. What's going on in the painting?
I think it's showing what kind of a force nature can be and how helpless they are. And it shows how desperate humans get in a time of tragedy.
Totally get it. Love those two ideas.
He cares about both what he's teaching and about us.
They are. They're all kind of like draped over each other.
I am a firm believer in the Common Core City Standards. I think they set the bar high for students. And for me and for my students, I think the AP is actually a vehicle for my students to meet the demands set by the Common Core City Standards. I am constantly surprised by not only the students' questions, but the way that they can push my own thinking and the way that they can make me and force me to think about an issue or a historical circumstance in a way that I had never thought about it.
And now it's my turn. I'm Ashli Dreher, the New York State Teacher of the Year for 2014, and I teach in the Lewiston Porter Central School District at Lewiston Porter High School. I teach students with moderate intellectual disabilities and developmental disabilities such as CP, autism, Down syndrome, and their academic functioning is anywhere from pre-kindergarten up through the intermediate elementary grades. In our 811 life skills class, we focus on a combination of academics and daily living skills. So we are teaching the Common Core standards in my classroom. We're doing close readings of texts. Hero was. We have science classes and math classes. Did it sink under the water or is it floating on top of the water?
Twix will sink.
Ah, the Twix will sink. In conjunction with that, students are learning important daily living skills such as cooking or pre-vocational skills that they'll need when they age out of the program at 21. My life skills class is very important to my students because they need these skills to be successful, independent adults. So my goal is to make them as independent as possible so that they can be a vibrant and vital part of their own communities. Teacher aides are a critical component to my classroom community. When I differentiate instruction, they work one-on-one with students in small groups. When students are at pre-vocational sites, teacher aides act as job coaches.
When you work with Ashli, you are a team, and with children with this, you have to be a team.
The connection that Ashli makes with her students is incredible. She never stops. She's always looking to go to the next level and to the next step. She feeds that to her students as well as her colleagues.
Believe it or not, when Ashli first started this class, she could not cook, and she taught herself as well as the kids how to cook.
Students do all of the food prep for several classroom dinners that we have each year, and it's in some ways a performance-based assessment of the skills that we work on in school. Our dinners are very important for building a sense of community. To involve parents and have that family engagement, that's something that is vital to their success in the classroom.
Ashli's the best thing that happened to my daughter Laura and to me. Laura has been able to be independent. She's come a long way, farther than anybody ever thought, all due to Ashli's wonderful magic of how she teaches.
The relationship with parents is very important. When you have a student in your classroom over a 6-year period, you really get to create a close bond with the families. I really enjoy following students throughout their life paths and getting to know them as individuals. My greatest wish is that everyone will see the potential of my students and what a bright future they have. We're up to the 2015 New York State Teacher of the Year, Charles Giglio. Charles is a retired Latin teacher that taught at Gloversville High School in the Gloversville School District.
Carolus sum Latinum doceo Gloversvillensis. I'm Charles, and I teach Latin at Gloversville. Salvete discipuli. I began teaching in 1964 in New York City. I had retired again and was home I see this ad in the paper for a Latin teacher for Gloversville. My wife, probably figuring I'd been home long enough, said, why don't you go help those kids out? Latin is no longer conversational. However, Latin is the root of our civilization here in the West. Aequo nasci iure homines universos. Translation class, all men are created equal. Not only is 65 to 70% of our English language coming from Latin, but also our philosophy, theology, medicine, architecture, art, music.
Proquastat uni nationi Deo decente non dividendi cum libertate justitiaque omnibus.
Great thinkers study and have written in Latin. And I think that it's important for people to study what great thinkers have written down. And I think if we want to progress, we need to know what they thought.
All right, my archaeologists, start digging. Look at that first word. As soon as you find it, let me see the hands. The study of Latin, I believe, helps my students to think, to reason, to deduce, to analyze. Now, if sum means I am, what does sim mean? All of these skills are translatable in the workforce.
Charlie winning the award is a major accomplishment, not just for Charlie, but for our local as well.
Mr. Giglio has been able to make Latin accessible to all students of any socioeconomic demographic. He teaches courses 1 through 5, with the capstone being the college level course. And he makes it available to them by sometimes paying out of pocket, by sometimes fundraising, and by also utilizing his connections through the Latin Alumni Club to have scholarship.
The Latin Alumni Club was begun by 2 of my former students. We meet twice a year. We have an average of 50 alumni come back. By the time my students reach the 12th grade, it's not just Latin 5, it's not just SUNY Latin. We've gone on trips together. We've gone to Washington together. Some have come to Italy with me. So we have become a community of learners.
Charlie is a wonderful educator, but beyond just the teaching, Charlie has this ability to connect with each and every student that he has.
I think this is the note, Mr. G.
Gaudeamus igitur. My motto for Teacher of the Year is Fiat Lux. Let there be light. I believe as a teacher, I'm helping to illuminate the minds of my students, to let the light in, to expand their thinking so that they become part of the citizenry of their community. That's all part of the education that I believe I help my students achieve through this illumination. Let there be light.
We're all the way up to 2016 now. Let's take a look at Dana McDonough's classroom. Dana is a 2nd grade teacher in the Newburgh School District.
Teaching 2nd graders is really magical in the sense that they are able to take ownership of their own learning.
I use the 5 and the 3 to make 8, and I put it down here to make a number sentence.
Working with Dana as a student teacher definitely will impact my career and my teaching style. She's having the kids do some of the teaching.
What is the value of 3 and 630? 30.
She's using manipulatives in the classroom. Take away the 10, and what do you have left? So I find myself emulating that as well and doing many of the same things and techniques that she's using.
I think one of the things that people should know about Dana is that she believes in partnering with the community. Her classroom is welcoming and warm. Her own parents come in and volunteer.
Dana asked if I would be interested in volunteering with the children for her reading groups. So I come once a week and I thoroughly enjoy it.
In my classroom, I try to involve them as much as I can in their own educational path.
Our splat number is
31.
1 more,
32.
1 less, and I like the way you're identifying it.
So they know their expectations and the goals that we set together.
Good job, high five. Nice job.
Okay.
Dana assesses a student learning weekly.
She gives them a goal and a target, and as she goes through the groups, she differentiates the instruction to their level so that she's able to meet their goals.
Which two words mean wheel?
There's nothing else that I ever wanted to do than be a teacher.
So ready? Bundle, bundle, bundle. We made a group of 10. Move it to the 10th place, and then we start again.
Without unions, teachers cannot necessarily do what they need to do. I have addressed pre-service teachers. They really need to realize what the union has done is doing, because we all need to work together in the interest of our children.
Dana's unionism really shows that union people, union members are advocates for kids, that we try through our unionism to support and make sure that all of the children's needs are met, and that we can do that because the union gives us a voice, and that maybe if we didn't have the union that we have, we wouldn't be able to be the advocates that we are for the children. And I think Dana is a very strong advocate for children. I believe that her union work helps her accomplish that.
My vision for each student is that they can see beyond the four walls of the classroom. I want them to be able to envision themselves walking across Academy Field, our venue for our high school graduation. I want them to see that they are part of a bigger picture and that they are on their way. As second graders, they are just beginning their educational journey.
You can rely on your union. We're always by your side, safeguarding your workplace rights, advocating for fair pay and benefits, and ensuring you have a voice on the job. You work hard. Isn't it nice to know your union works hard for you? You and your union. Together, we stand up for our students. We strengthen public education and healthcare. Together, we make a difference.
Now we're up to the 2017 New York State Teacher of the Year. That's Amy Heizak, a science teacher at the Cicero North Syracuse High School in the Cicero School District.
I teach Regents Living Environment, which is biology, and I teach a section of Science Explorations, which is a local science course here.
You are going to make for me models of the stages of mitosis. So our objective, the object of what we're doing, is to model the stages of mitosis using a glucose-based lab material. I know, isn't this fun? Mitosis is cell division. The cell spends most of its time in interphase. So the inter is the between phases. Now we get to the process of mitosis. Mitosis has 4 phases.
Amy's winning the New York State Teacher of the Year award has been a great honor and privilege for our local. I'm incredibly proud of Amy and for Amy. Her dedication and her passion for her work and for her kids is outstanding.
Kids learn better in a space that's fun and comfortable for them. If they are relaxed, then they can learn better. They can focus better. So decorating my class means that it's a fun space for them to be. There are things to look at. There's visual interest for them. The more fun and the more whimsical and the more silly stories that I can bring to my teaching, my kids' brains actually learn better because they produce neurotransmitters in their brain that help them form long-term memories. Right now I'm drinking coffee, but later in the day, too much caffeine isn't good for even me, so I can't do that. So I switched to tea that doesn't have any caffeine. But if you really drink a lot of tea, what are you gonna have to do? I pee more after tea. Interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Right, IPMAT at the top of your paper, because those are the phases of mitosis in order. Just remember, Mrs. Heizak drinks tea a lot.
Amy is a dedicated professional. I am so privileged to be her principal. Amy is very data-driven. From using that data, she can give students individual feedback or adjust her pacing right there within the 80-minute block.
My kids take quizzes almost every day. ZipGrade turns my phone into an instant Scantron grading machine. My kids take an assessment. I can grade it instantly, show them the results immediately. We can correct misconceptions. We go over what the answers are. They learn from their mistakes and correct and confirm their knowledge immediately. So I know what they know and they know what they know. And it's instant feedback for them and for me.
Amy's engagement in our association is multifaceted. She's kind of a go-to person. When issues come up, when there are tasks to be done, Amy can be found there, whether it's at a local level, at a county-wide level, or a state level.
It's important for teachers to be advocates for students, to be advocates for each other, to be advocates for public education as a whole. We need our voices to be heard so that legislators and people who make policy decisions understand how those decisions affect our kids and our working environment and our profession.
Now finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Who is the 2018 New York State Teacher of the Year? That would be Christopher Albrecht. He is a 4th grade teacher at the Fred W. Hill School in the Brockport Central School District.
I have a couple words that I'd like to say to you today. Thank you to Commissioner Elia, Chancellor Rosa, the Board of Regents, and the New York State Teacher of the Year Selection Committee for this incredible honor. Thank you to NYSUT for being a supporter of this award. I'm so thankful for the support I received this summer from everybody there to make me so joyous inside as I received this and not nervous at all. I am blessed to be surrounded here today by so many of you that want to do right by the students of New York State. I am simply one teacher, a single voice, but I am overjoyed to receive this opportunity to serve you, to serve schools, and especially our students, to highlight the goodness of public education right here in our great state of New York. There are very few days in our lives when we wake up and we know that we'll remember this day for a lifetime. Today, you all have given me that opportunity, and I'm so very thankful. I have joy in my heart because I am a teacher. I believe we live in a wonderful world full of opportunities. I believe it is a great time to be a teacher.
Thank you for joining us on Inside the Classroom. I hope you enjoy seeing some of the New York State Teachers of the Year in action inside their classrooms.
We get you started early. We stay with you in middle school. We see you through graduation, college, and beyond, realizing potential every step of the way. We're New York State United Teachers, 600,000 professionals dedicated to excellence in public education. But that's not all. We also provide healthcare and human services to New Yorkers of all ages. We're NYSUT, caring for patients, working for students, working with our communities.
Inside the Classroom is brought to you by NYSUT, a union of more than 600,000 professionals dedicated to education, human services, and healthcare. NYSUT is proud to partner with parents in advocating for what students need. We stand for excellence in public education from preschool through postgrad. Find us online at nysut.org.